Alright, this is Tommy with AAA Exterminating Company, riding into Raleigh on a Saturday. Gonna try to get some work done before the rain comes in. Today I'm gonna make a video about spot treatments versus full treatments. What's the difference and which one's the better deal? Okay, so we did this inspection a few weeks ago. Had active termites right here. They got into the sill plate, up on the studs. The buyer removed the sheetrock so we can get a better look at what's going on back there. Looks like the damage isn't too bad. It's still nice and solid. So we'll probably just put the sheetrock back up. But this is going to be to explain the difference between a spot treatment and a full treatment. We also got some evidence on the wall here, some tunnel stains, pretty normal stuff. So for a spot treatment, what we would have to do is we'd have to drill this wall along here. And now the bad thing about a spot treatment is it only covers the area that we're treating, and it does not have any kind of real warranty. It only warranties that one area for a retreatment for the termites. It does not cover any damage, and it does not cover the whole house. And so we're going to compare what it takes to do a spot treatment, what the average price is for a spot treatment, and which one's the better deal, a spot treatment or a full treatment. Alright, so that's our main man, Pat. Been with us about 20 years. There's not many people that can do it like that, but that's a pretty quick drill out of the wall. He's going to do the vertical drilling now, and I'm going to go to the other side of the wall and start the outside trenching. Alright, so here's the trench on the outside. And by the way, if any exterminator is being honest with you, on a spot treatment, this outside trench would almost never be done. But here's trenching the outside because technically you are supposed to do this. It's on the other side of that wall. It's within 4 feet of that evidence. So I've got the outside trench. He already drilled. You saw him drill the wall. So let's see how far along he is on the vertical drilling. Okay, that's pretty much got everything prepped for the spot treatment. And so we're probably going to be able to get this spot treatment done inside of 10 minutes. Inside of about 10 minutes is what it'll take. Now, one guy, honestly, he'd probably come over here and do it in about 30 minutes. Is what a spot treatment will usually take you if you're working by yourself. And also, most guys are not going to be able to drill as quick and get things done like Pat can. Patrick Jones has been with us, like I said, 20 years or so. Me and him have been friends since we were in school. So he's been with us a long time, and very few people have treated the amount of, done the amount of termite treatments that he has. So he's, most termite techs are not like that. But as you can see, a spot treatment is pretty simple. You're taking care of that area, and the price we're going to base this all on is going to be very forgiving. Most of the time, a spot treatment like this is probably going to be about $225. But we'll probably compare everything and be a little bit on the nice side to the spot treatments and say that it's going to be an even better deal. We'll say it's going to be like $185 or something. And then we'll compare what this takes and then what the full treatment takes. As you can see, we're about to knock this out in under like 10-15 minutes. Okay, so basically the way the spot treatment is going to work out is we're all together going to be treating about 40 feet if you're counting both the inside and outside of the garage. That's going to require 8 gallons on the inside, 8 gallons on the outside, and then 4 gallons going to the wall where we drilled the brick. So altogether that'll be about 20 gallons, a chemical cost of about $13. So spot treatment is going to take us about 10 to 15 minutes and going to cost us about $13 in chemical. And so let's go ahead and do this treating so you can see what that looks like. All right, we got the holes prepped. This is usually the way Pat likes to do the holes. He'll sweep the dust created from the concrete to the side. He does it so he can later on kind of smooth over the top and make it look better in his patchwork. So any of you termite guys out there, I'm going to give you like a free little tip on how to patch these things up and make them look real good. Save the dust that you're getting out of the concrete. And you'll see a lot of different colors sometimes. Concrete will be lighter or darker. But it's good to save the concrete that you're getting out of the holes and kind of sweep it to the side, keep it dry if you can. And that way, whenever you're done, you can kind of go over the top of it. Adds a little bit of a matching pigment to the patches and also helps smooth them out and actually lets them set better. So this is kind of the way we do it. And most of the time, after done patching, you'll see it's probably about the best there is at that. We're going to go ahead and do the treatment, though, just for this area, just so you see exactly the whole thing, how it's done for a spot treatment. All right, so we got the hose out. We're treating on the outside with a trench. We're treating at about 4 gallons per 10 linear feet. And in the holes, you want to kind of try to get about the same, but there is some forgiveness on the label that will allow you to basically take as much as it'll give you. You can't always get the right amount of these holes. But altogether, it should take about 20 gallons to do this full spot treatment. I like to write it down in there. That way you're forcing it down by the footer. And for any of you guys that want to, termite work, do it yourself, you need this equipment, and it needs to come out at a decent pressure so you can actually get a good treatment down there. Just digging a trench around the outside and dumping chemical out of a 5-gallon bucket is not going to cut it for what you really need to do. These termites are not coming out from the outside of the house; they're coming out from this expansion joint, and so that's where you got to get the chemical. See right here in the garage, you've got an expansion joint. It's made out of like a cellulose material. It's meant to help the concrete expand and contract. In the summertime, concrete will get warmer and it expands. In the wintertime, it'll contract. This expansion joint allows forgiveness, so you don't get as much cracking in the slab. But termites absolutely love this area, so this is where we always see them come up. And if you want to really get good control of termites, you're going to need to get in the chemical here. You can drill the expansion joint. We don't like doing that though, because we get a better coverage going into the actual going through the slab to make sure we get it exactly where we want to get it. So that's our technique. And that's the way a professional does it. You know, using the expansion joint is a cheap shortcut, and this is the way to really do it.
Make sure you let them know sometimes you have to drill the expansion joint when the slab itself is not taking any chemical.
Yeah,
so then you have to get that expansion joint to get a better coverage.
That's a good
because
point.
you don't want to. You want to make sure everything gets sprayed.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
you always want to try to drill the slab first if you can.
Because if it doesn't go through once you drill it, then you have to go back and you have to drill that expansion joint.
Yeah.
Because it's also a good thing for us as well. So when we come through that issue, like right now, it's going in perfectly.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you have that point where it's shooting back out at you, and that's when you use the expansion joint.
Yeah, so it's always an option, but we always want to try to get to the concrete first.
Yes.
But if we can't, you got to do the expansion joint. All right, so that's pretty much the spot treatment. We've got that in there. We're not going to patch it. We're going to patch it when we do the whole thing. But now it's going to be time to start the full treatment, so we can really compare the two. The spot treatment took between 10 and 15 minutes. With one person, maybe 30 minutes probably would be a good forgiving, honest time that would take to do that. But now we're going to start for the full thing. And of course, remember the full treatment includes the spot treatment. So we would also do that. Now we're going to go through and drill the entire garage. I'm going to go into the crawl space and start the crawl space trenching. And we'll show you what goes into a full treatment. That way you'll have a good comparison of exactly what you're paying for between the two options. All right, so here's right after we did the treatment. As you can see, we went inside every single one of these holes. And inside the wall here, you do about 2 gallons per 10 linear feet inside the little foundation elements there. So that's how it's done. You got to put chemical inside the slab hole and also inside those wall holes to get a real good professional treatment to make sure you can protect this house from termites. We're wrapping up the spot treatment now by spraying the outside, spraying the trench area, cover up the trench as you go, and then you spray on top of the trench to make sure you're not creating a bridge for the termites to go over and avoid the chemical. Now, since we're using a non-repellent termiticide, that's a little bit less of a concern. This stuff is extremely good. The particular product we're using today is Taurus, and it's the generic version of Termidor. And it's not quite as effective as Termidor, but it is very good, and it's a good alternative for a lower cost full treatment like this. I would definitely prefer Termidor, but I would prefer a full treatment with Taurus than a spot treatment with Termidor. So full treatment is definitely the best option, I would say. So we're just getting this done. We're going to patch this at the end when we patch everything else. But we're going to go ahead and we got everything you saw us do here, except for the drilling into the wall. We're going to have to drill through the slab all the way around this garage. And I'm going to go into the crawl space and start the trenching. And we got a little bit ways to go. Okay, so now we're in the crawl space, and so it's got a vapor barrier. We did not do this vapor barrier. It's not staked down or taped very good, but it's got fine coverage, so I'm not gonna complain too much. But we're gonna have to pull this vapor barrier back, give us enough room to do the trenching in the crawl space. So we're gonna need to trench all along these inside foundation walls. Now there is labeling that allows you to just trench around the piers, but you know, a real full treatment, if you want to really do it to state standards and do the best job you possibly can, you need to drill, you need to trench on both the inside and outside foundation walls. That's probably the most important area to get good coverage. So I'm going to go ahead and start that process now. We've got to trench the walls. We also got to trench around the piers. And then there's some more drilling we got to do in here for the full treatment. We got to drill the voids behind the front porch. So let's get started on that. All right, so we're about halfway through. We got pretty much everything prepped, just finishing up in the crawl space. So as you can see, we go through with the vertical drilling all the way around. All the way around the garage to get chemical down in there. And also, we've got a dirt-filled porch. Dirt-filled porches are about the most dangerous place for termites. This is where we worry about the most. Right now you can hear Pat drilling from the other side of the crawl space. So you got to do the same thing here, vertical drill. But with the dirt-filled crawl space, we need to go further because the big problem is right here, where the concrete meets the wall, that's where the rim joist is on the other side of this. So this is concrete's filled with dirt. The rim joist right on the other side of this, that wood has very close contact with dirt. So that's how come we get so many termite issues there. So as an extra precaution, when we go into the crawl space, we also need to drill all the voids behind the front porch. This is required in North Carolina when you're doing a full treatment. That's what Pat's doing there. And all the voids behind the front porch. That's go the whole way down. Of course, I've already done this section in the crawl space. You can see up there, it's pretty much prepped. Yeah, that's what's required. All right, so we're a couple hours into the full treatment. Got this area here. We've trenched this foundation wall all the way around the outside. And so now what we do is we come in and spray. We're right here, we're right on top of the footer. So we just spray 4 gallons for 10 feet. All the way down and all the way around. And after we spray, we fill in the trench. Top of that. Spray the storm, the motion, and on top of that. So you get a good vertical barrier all the way around. So we'll do this all the way around the entire house, and also the same thing in the crawl space. Alright, then we're up here at the front porch. In the front porch, we drill these holes. You want to start it kind of slow. Draw it down. Make sure you're forcing the chemical down in there. And open it up. Make sure you get good coverage in here. This is an important area here behind this dirt-filled front porch. We want to make sure we're getting good chemical in here. We want every hole to take it really good so we can make sure we're getting good coverage and we can protect this house. All right, after about a little over 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours, we finally got it knocked out. The full treatment. Now, to be honest, if me and Pat weren't so old, we probably could have got it done in 3. Back in the old days, we could have knocked one of these out in probably 2.5 hours. But as you can see, it takes a lot more time, a lot more product. Whenever I get back in tonight, we'll go through the paperwork and see exactly the difference in chemical uses and what it actually costs us, and opposed to what we make per hour. And I'll be able to break it down to you what is best, spot treatments or full treatments. What do you think, Pat?
Yeah.
Think full treatments are a much better deal?
It's always a better deal.
I think so too.
You can actually get a warranty with it.
Yep.
For a whole house warranty.
Spot treatment, you actually make some good money. You make it real quick, and you ain't responsible for nothing.
Just that one wall.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll look at the paperwork and go through a little bit later. Okay. Now, so let's take a good in-depth look at what we did over there, and what the difference really is. I kind of spelled it all out real quick in this piece of paper, so that we can kind of go through it nice and easy and see exactly what it is, the differences are between the spot treatment and the full treatment, and what really is the best deal. So you saw the video on what all we did there, what it takes, how long it'll take a spot treatment. To be honest, one person can probably do that spot treatment in about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little quicker, but about 30 minutes. So in a treatment like that, we're doing about 40 linear feet. Price is usually going to be about $185. Sometimes you'll see higher prices than that. Might be $225 or so for a spot treatment, but we'll be nice and say $185 will be an average price for that kind of spot treatment. Okay, now you're going to be treating about 40 linear feet. That's the inside wall of the garage, the outside wall of the garage, but plus also counting the chemical that's got to be applied into the hollow block from where the drill out was done on the where the termite evidence was. So altogether, you're going to be using about 20 gallons for that kind of treatment. A chemical like Taurus, a generic Termitor type chemical, most professionals can get it for around 65 cents per gallon. That's just a roundabout price, but that's pretty close to what most professionals can get it for. So if it takes one person about 30 minutes to do that treatment, the chemical cost is about $13. It'll come out to, the price is $185, minus the 13 for the chemical equals about 172 per half hour, or about $344 per hour. So that's the breakdown about what the profitability is for doing spot treatments. Now this is a simple profit breakdown. It is absolutely not including labor costs. This is not actually what we make. This is just kind of a simple comparison to make it a little easier. But you got to, there's labor costs, there's fuel, there's all this other stuff involved. But just to make it simple, that's what we'll put it at. About $344 per hour is what we can expect to make doing a day full of spot treatments. Now, if you compare that to the full treatment, where we did 440 linear feet plus 10 piers in the crawl space, price on that would be about $650. Sometimes a little bit more than that. This one here happens to be a real estate investment company we do a lot of work for, so they get a much better deal than a normal customer would sometimes. And they're also using Taurus, which is a little bit cheaper version than Termite. So prices may vary depending on the situation and what product you want. But for this one, that's what our price was here. So you use about 196 gallons of chemical, about 65 cents per gallon, same cost, same chemical. So the chemical costs about $127.40. That's what the chemical costs as far as what we're using over there. For one person to do that job right would be about 4 hours. It'd be about, usually a good termite tech can do 2 termite jobs in a day. He's going to spend about 4 hours on an average treatment like that one. Sometimes though a treatment may take all day, may even take a couple days depending on how hard it is. But that's a good average figure right there. So that would mean at the end of that we'd have $650 minus the $127 for the chemical costs. That would leave us about $522 per 4 hours. So your per hour breakdown would be $130.65. So as you can see, per hour, you are much, much more profitable doing the spot treatment than you are the full treatment as far as the companies go. So the conclusions on that is spot treatments on average makes about $344 per hour. Our liability for spot treatments is extremely low because there is no warranty for the work other than retreating the area that we treated the spot. So in other words, when we do a spot treatment, there's no real warranty that's issued. You're guaranteeing basically that one spot, and it's really just a retreatment warranty. So if they come back in that one spot, it just gets sprayed again. But there's no damage warranty, and it does not cover anywhere else in the rest of the house. So not only are you making more per hour, your liability is way less. So it's actually more beneficial for a company to do spot treatments, but it's a much, much worse deal for the customer. And so I would encourage any realtors or anything like that to maybe look out for your buyer a little bit and realize just how much of a better deal it is. So the full treatment on average makes us about $130 per hour. Our liability is much higher because we are given a warranty on the entire structure, which often also covers damage, depending on the warranty, the type of contract you get. Very often, though, it will cover damage, any future damage that occurs, which can be a big deal. Spot treatments are far more profitable, however, in the long run, can be damaging to our reputation because if problems occur, we will be the ones that get the blame. So what I mean by that is we can make more money by doing a bunch of spot treatments, but I think it's a higher risk for our reputation because if someone buys a house, at that moment, they're excited about buying the house. They just want to get the deal done. They're worried about any little thing that can mess up the deal. So they can very quickly be talked into, well, let's just do a spot treatment to get this done with. Maybe I'll talk to someone later about protecting the house. And so in that case, if termites were to show up somewhere else or cause some damage somewhere else, then they're going to look at us. They're going to forget all that. And, a year or two from now, they're going to look at us and think that we did a bad job for them. And we didn't do what we should have done. And we didn't give protection we should have given. And that can actually hurt our reputation. Because no matter if you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's how you're perceived. And so I think if someone's buying a house and that house needs a treatment, it should be a full treatment. Because I think, once again, I'll elaborate. People think whenever they find termites on a structure that means, well, there's only termites in that one spot, so why not just treat that one spot and be done with it? Well, the thing is, it's not that there's just termites in that one spot. What it is the protection against termites in the structure has worn down. So whenever houses are built, they're given pre-treatments. The pre-treatments are usually good for 5 to 10 years, depending on what's being used. So you take a house that's maybe 10, 15 years old and it's got termites in the garage. Sure, you can treat that one area, but what you have to understand is all of the product that was put there originally is all beginning to break down, and so you're getting failure in that area, and termites are coming up. Treating that one spot is not really solving the problem. You're not giving good protection, and it's literally a few $100. It's not that much more expensive. You know, on average, spot treatment is around a third of the price. Most of the time, about a third of the price of a full treatment. You know, and why not do that? If you do a full treatment, the entire structure is warranted for a year automatically. It may not cover damage, but it will at least cover retreatment. But it's just, to me, it's such a better deal. And a lot of people, I'll try to tell them I don't really want to do spot treatments. I'd rather do a full treatment. And I think they assume it's because I want to make more money and it's some kind of greedy thing. It's really not. I just feel better and sleep better at night whenever I've got a bunch of fully treated structures that I'm responsible for, as opposed to all these, you know, very, very nice houses we do a lot of work on, where we just treated this one area. And I know the people moving in there may be from another state. They may not be familiar with termites, but they may think they're protected. And I just think it's bad going forward, not just for us, but for the whole industry. So I would encourage everybody to kind of, especially during real estate transactions, try to steer away from spot treatments. I just don't think that's the best option. And we appreciate anybody watching these videos. Like and subscribe and share. We're trying to put out good information out there without being too much of salesmen saying you have to use us. There's a lot of companies out there. I just like to try to promote professionalism in our industry. So if you're dealing with a professional termite man, most of the time he's going to give you the same advice. So, but we appreciate your time.